This segment is brought to you by Omnia, your agriculture partner for more than 70 years. Sugarcane milling season has kicked off in South Africa. We're going to be taking a look at this as our agri conversation this week. I'm joined on the line by the Chief Executive Officer of the South African Canegrowers Association, Dr. Thomas Funke, to see if we can make sense of this year's milling season and what we can look forward to. Dr. Funke, lovely having you on the show as always. Thanks so much for taking the time. Are we set for a good season? Have I got reason to be optimistic here?
Yes, good evening. It seems like we've started off on the front foot. We are way ahead of last year's deliveries, which is a very good sign, and it also means that the mills are performing, and the crop is actually there. But obviously, there are other factors that are affecting this year, maybe from an economic perspective.
Dr. Funke, one of those factors is undoubtedly the elephant in the room in Tongaat Hewlett's 3 mills that have yet to open. All the other mills, barring these 3, have reopened for this year's milling season, and we know that the Tongaat business and those mills contribute a huge part to how much they're able to take off from our cane growers. Can you give us a sense of the rest of the industry at the moment? How much more are we getting through in terms of raw sugarcane? How much have we started on the front foot, as you mentioned?
Yeah, so we about 43% ahead of last year's crush at this point in time. But the good news is that 2 of the 3 Tongaat mills are actually starting tomorrow. So here on the north coast, we've already seen the first cane fires taking place, and farmers getting ready to harvest. So that's a very good sign. It also means that the off-crop maintenance, which happens every year, has been completed and paid for, which is the big thing, I think, in business rescue. And yeah, time will tell if they will be performing as good as other mills in the industry.
Dr. Funke, the last time you and I caught up, we spoke about the impact of imports on the sugarcane market and what a devastating impact it was having on cane growers because of the influx of imported sugar. Can you give us a sense of where we stand with that at the moment? How's our local market faring? What are we looking at from a pricing perspective? Is this still as serious a concern as it was when we initially spoke about it?
Yes, it is. And in fact, it's just gotten worse. The world market was oversupplied, so prices dropped dramatically. And as a result, we had this influx of sugar, mostly from Brazil and India, some of Thailand sugar coming into our market and then displacing South African sugar onto this very low-priced world market. So in the last season alone, and the season goes from 1st of April, so 2025, up to 31 March 26, it was around 213,000 tons that were imported. And for every ton that's imported, we as the farmers and the local industry lose 7,000 Rand per ton. So that translates into roughly 1.4 billion that's been lost in revenue because we now had to sell below the cost of production. And that's extremely unfortunate, especially in times when we're actually producing in excess of our local market demand. And when we actually least can afford it to lose that type of revenue.
Dr. Funke, let's take a look at the resilience of the sugarcane industry. Over the years at this point, you and I have spoken everything from Tongaat's liquidation troubles to the cane growers themselves struggling to find new markets to access. Despite all of that, we kick off this new season with renewed optimism, with a stronger start to the season itself. Is there hope that we will get the sugarcane industry back on track and back to where it used to be?
Yeah, there's always hope. And as farmers, we faced, as you say, floods and unrest and floods of imports and all kinds of things. Yet we've come through most of those eventualities. And this year, I'm quite positive won't be different. We'll make it through. On the positive side, we've signed the master plan and the second phase of it, led by Minister Tau and Minister Godlimpi. And we're very positive that there we can find some traction with the end users, the big buyers of sugar, but also in terms of diversification and changing the trajectory of the industry. We've seen now with these high oil prices and diesel prices how important it is to, for example, diversify and produce your own fuel in your own country. And that's something that the Agricultural Minister Steenhuisen and Minister McPherson are driving quite hard as, how can we get biofuels off the ground in this country? And that's also what we're trying to do, be part of that journey and part of that conversation. So I'm very positive. I'm also sure that ITEC will review our import tariff and adjust it to the correct level. And, if those planets align, then we and away for a good season and hopefully a good future.
Indeed, that second phase of the sugar industry's master plan announced last month by the Deputy Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, Deputy Minister Zuko Kutlimpi, hopefully to boost and support the cane growers of our country and the sugar industry of the country. We'll leave this conversation on that note. Thanks so much to the Chief Executive Officer of the South African Cane Growers Association, Dr. Thomas Funke, for joining us to take a look at the kickoff of our sugar milling season for the year and how optimistic we're feeling about it. This segment was brought to you by Omnia. Your harvest, our greatest achievement.